again to my channel. Thank you for always tuning in. I really do appreciate you all. To all my new subscribers, thank you so much for making the decision to press the button, and to my old subscribers, you all know I feel about you. Thank you so much. I'm very excited today, guys, because I'm going to be talking with a special guest about something really important that a lot of married women have been wanting to get out of their system to talk to somebody about. And this special guest is from Nigeria. He's like an older brother to me, and I call him my pastor. He doesn't like to be called pastor, but he's got a lot of wisdom. And I felt it's very important he shares part of his wisdom with us, because he's got a lot of it. He's got a lot of wisdom to share about marriage. He's online, he's on IG and on YouTube. I'm going to share all this information on the description box below. And I've shared a lot of his recordings with a lot of people, and they're just keen to know more, and they have a lot of questions to ask him. So today is the day. He's here with me, and this is going to be two parts. So this is going to be the very first part of this discussion. So I hope you enjoy it and you learn one or two things from today's discussion. So now, without much ado, I'm going to introduce you to our guest. My pastor, remember, he doesn't like to be called pastor. He's already telling me off. Can anyone see what's happening behind the camera? My pastor, my big brother, my egbon, SOJ, that's what I call him. His name is Soji Olayin.
Hello, Modupe. I am not a pastor.
Okay.
But I'm not churchy.
Yeah.
But I'm godly. And I try to look at issues based on the wisdom of God. That doesn't make me a pastor. Because I know one or two scriptures does not mean that I'm a pastor. I'm not a pastor.
So have you heard? He is not a pastor, but he's a man after God's heart, right?
Yes.
Good. All right. So, like I said before, you do a lot of videos about marriages, issues that people, the gray areas in marriage that people don't want to talk about. And it's really interesting because people are intrigued by the way you answer them, and the way people come out with some of these questions too are very intriguing. They are really surprising sometimes, and you wonder, do people think like this? Is this really happening? Can Christian actually think like this? Can Christian actually talk about this topic? I think that's the catchy thing about the vlogs you give out on IG and YouTube, and that's why I tend to share with a lot of my friends. And I did mention to some of them that, guys, I actually know this guy, and when he's in town again, I will have a chat with him. And they're all like, oh, we have questions. I said, fine, bring them in. So I mean, today it's going to be like a question time. We can banter about it and throw ideas back and forth and see what can, how you can help people to think differently and make things work. And like I said before, behind the camera, before the camera started rolling, we're talking about how these days marriage is really difficult, and it's something that the devil is really attacking right now, and people are really struggling to keep it together in their marriages. So yeah, I've got questions for you today, like I said, and it's going to be twofold. So this particular one, the questions are going to mainly focus on communication in marriage. That's what this is going to focus on. And like I said before, I have questions from people that want to know more. They want to hear you and, seek some of your wisdom to see how they can handle situations like this. So you permit me to use my phone. But before then, can you tell us a little about yourself, your ministry? You're not a pastor, but you have a ministry, so
yes.
We want to hear about it.
Okay. I have a platform. Okay, ministry, if you will.
Yeah,
so the name of my platform is the Roundtable. And why is it called the Roundtable? When I was starting out and God led me to start this platform, He gave me a scripture. That's Isaiah 1:18. God said, come now, let us reason together. Come now, let us reason together. And that's it. So I found the need to actually get people together and let's talk about the challenges that are in not only marriages, I actually do relationships too.
Yeah, that's true.
Relationships, marriages. Because the truth is, in the Christian fold, not just generally. But if someone that's not a Christian wants my advice, of course, why not? But basically, You know, the Christianity is a religion that has a lot of moral values. And so, if they have moral values, people expect a lot from anyone that calls himself or herself a Christian.
Yeah.
In terms of morality, in terms of comportness, in terms of behavior. So we are supposed to be like the shining light, you know, the trailblazer.
Yeah.
And I now see that a lot of marriages, they're not working among Christians. And then I realized that the church is not doing enough. I respect all churches, I respect all pastors,
Yeah.
I give them their respect, but I know that in this generation, at this time, they are not doing enough. So there are people that God has given that grace to be able to help, especially the young ones, to understand what to do, how to act, when to act in their relationships and then in their marriages. I'm actually sent to the younger generation. I talk to a whole lot of them because, I mean, if you've done like 20 years in marriage and you're not able to sort out your issues with your spouse, please get somebody. I can advise you one-on-one, but I deal more with the young people. So what did I do? When I started, I used to, before COVID,
Yeah.
you know, I always had this seminar. Should I call it seminar? Meet up. People come together. There's a hotel I use in Abuja, 3J's hotel, and they just come and then we just start talking. I tell them I'm not religious. I'm not religious at all. I'm not judgmental. I'm not doctrinal. Yeah. So sometimes it looks as if it looks as if my own opinion or my own thoughts about an issue, sometimes they are countercultural. Okay. So it's different from what you're going to hear in church, from the pulpit. There are things that I say confidently that there's no pastor that can say it on the altar. Oh yes. Yeah. I mean, some of my videos that you've seen, I mean, I talked about oral sex. Yes. Talked about missionary different sex styles. Yeah. And the truth That's about true. It. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that the Christian, should I say the pastors or should I say the leaders? Let me use the word leader. Yeah. The church leaders, they have caged a lot of Christians. This is the way you should do things. This is the way you should do things. It must be premeditated, but it's not true. It's not true. If God has not said it, you're free to do it the way you like. Exactly. Yeah, you're free. He that the Son has set free is free indeed. That's what the Bible says. Yeah. And what the Spirit of the Lord is, there's liberty. You have liberty to do things as long as it's within the confines of the laws of God. You have liberty. So I started it, and then people will come, we'll just talk. I mean, I also get from people, you know, so I bring up a topic, very, very serious topics, and then we start discussing it. And from those discussions, we listen together, and people learn a lot. People learn a lot from when people sit down and talk. You have this person's opinion, that person's opinion. You pick the one that makes sense to you, and you run with it, and then you're happy, and then you're fine. So it's not that one person that seems as if he knows it all is perfect. Begins to tell them, this is my wife, that's my wife, that's my husband. It's not true. Many of these are people, they also have challenges in their homes. Exactly. So they're also human beings. Yeah. So I come out practical. Even my own issues, I discuss it openly. Yeah. I tell them, I went to a church one day, I was invited, churches invite me, right? Okay. And I was there, and I said, I'm here by privilege. It's not because I know a whole lot better than you guys. We are going to all discuss these things and reason together. But I can tell you I'm not perfect. I quarrel with my wife. We fight. Yeah. And they were like, oh really? Somebody can actually come on the altar and say that. I don't think there's any pastor that will come and say, I messed up. See what happened. Yeah, so let me not talk too much. That's basically what, and I've been doing it for like 7 years now.
Wow, that's amazing. Just telling us about yourself alone, I'm blessed already. Yeah. I can't wait to actually get into this question. Okay. So my very first question is from a lady. I'm not going to give you any name because it's meant to be anonymous. So the lady's question is this. She said, what is your view about spouse having different views on issues and both cannot agree on each other's viewpoint? What would be your suggestion in dealing with situations like this? Say, for example, political viewpoints.
Okay. political viewpoint, I don't think that should be a problem at all.
Well,
Really.
it's interesting you said that, because take for example in the UK here, when it was time for people to vote for Brexit or not, there were many homes that were divided. Husband Brexit, wife wife support that we still be in the EU. That will happen in this country. So
Yeah. So it's. I think that's very simple. As in, okay, so I'm for Brexit. You're my wife. I'm for Brexit. You're not for Brexit. Okay, fine. Our opinions probably won't change so much about what's going to happen. So there was a referendum. People went to vote. So I voted for Brexit, and then we left. And then you did not vote for Brexit, but we still left. It should not affect our marriage. So we continue to roll as husband and wife.
I mean, listening to you now, it sounds really simple. Yeah. What about other issues when couples have different views on issues, like serious issues? You know, it could be about family, it could be about money.
Okay.
You know.
So here's the thing. There's absolutely no way that you can lord your opinion on the other person, especially if both of them are intelligent, they are cerebral, and they have their own points. The best thing you can do is to respectfully express your own views. If your partner does not agree with it, fine, you let it go. Oh, you let it go. I do that a lot with my wife. There's some things we don't agree on. Somebody has to let it go. I have the capacity to let it go. And I just let it go, no problem. Okay, so you want to take this bottle, this phone. Okay, so this phone shouldn't be here. You feel that it should be on that table. And I'm telling you, babe, this phone, let it stay here. And I'm telling me, no, you feel that it should be here. See, I mean, it's even good I said this. So I'm 21 years in marriage. And the first 10, 11, 12 years, we used to have a whole lot of disagreements. We used to argue over the smallest things. She wouldn't agree with me, and I wouldn't agree with her. And we would argue and argue. She would put her points there, I'll put my points there. And then sometimes we could argue for like 2 hours over the same point, because I would not agree. I realized that arguments don't solve problems, because you guys will not agree. Even if you find out in your heart of heart that, okay, maybe this person is making sense, but because you already have a strong position, you want to still stay there, right? So what did I do? I didn't want that to go, and that was a major challenge in our life. Every other thing was fine. I mean, every other thing was cool. I called that one and I said, you know what? I've decided not to continue to argue over issues with you. I'll give you my opinion, and I'm going to leave it there. If you disagree with that opinion, if this is what you want to do, no problem, go ahead and do it. I just be like the bigger person, no problem. But hey, if there is a consequence, negative consequence to that, your opinion and your action, you will own it. You take responsibility. You take responsibility. Yeah. Right? So that's what I mean. But you will know that this is my opinion, my position, but I've considered you to take this position, and then we're fine. It reduced our argument time by almost 70%.
It's amazing you said that. Now my question is, okay, you said one of them will be the bigger person. What if in a situation where this really happens a lot, and just a particular person in that partnership that's always being the bigger person? One day that person will get fed up and wonder why the other person is not being the bigger person as well. How do you handle situations like that?
Okay, so I mean, generally speaking, your marriage can be 100% perfect. Generally speaking. So of course this like that will happen. I mean, it has happened to me too. That's like no, on this particular matter, I am not going to agree. But that's just once in a while, compared to how it used to be before. Once in a while. But for the most part, I just chill. And she comes to another reason. Okay, no problem. But this is my position. You don't agree with me. You want to go this route. No problem. Go ahead. And she will know that, okay, this is what this man thinks. And sometimes when it backfires, it's like, and you said so. And at that point, it's like, no problem. It's up to you. I just want to I love peace. My wife loves peace too, actually. But because of, I think it's a temperament issue, and it's like, sometimes we have this position, we want to hold on to it.
Yeah. And
then I let it go. That's
interesting. Thanks for answering that. My second question is from another lady. She said in our relationship, this is on communication as well, that when there's an issue to talk about, she doesn't like the long talk. Our partner loves the long talk, wants to talk about everything to the nitty-gritty of it, and also expects her to do the same when it's her turn to talk. But she just wants to do pa. She just wants to say, okay, this is it, we disagree, we agree, she just wants to end it. So sometimes when her husband starts going on, she switches off. And by the time he calls her back and she can't say what he said, he gets angry. How does she handle situations like that?
Patience. Oh, patience. She just has to be patient. And that's the truth.
Is it patient to listen?
Patience to listen. Patience to listen. Just, she has to work on her patience. It could be irritating. It could be, I understand what that person is saying.
Yeah.
The truth is, I'm actually that kind of a person, funny enough. I like conversations. I like engaging. I like to just talk about it. Let's look at it step by step. I like logic. I like analysis. I'm like, okay, why is this like this? So why should we do it this way, that way, and this one that way? And my wife is not that patient.
I think most women are not.
A lot of them are not, actually.
Yeah.
But there are some, I've met some that are actually. But so, just like you said, she just wants to say, pa. See, this is my position, this is it. And so sometimes when I'm like, okay, listen. Because I'm also, like I like to analyze, I'm also a good listener. Funny enough, I want to listen to her. I want to listen to anybody. I mean, being a counselor, of course, you have to be a good listener. And I'm like, you know what? Okay, tell me what. Let me know what you're saying. Let me get you. And I will listen and listen and listen. And she'll say, I will listen. I will not interject. And then when she's done, it's okay. I get your point. But say my point. Then I will now start analyzing step by step, bit by bit. Before 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, she started. No, that's not what I'm saying. But let me finish. So, women, if it's a woman that's in this situation, she needs to learn to be patient and listen and hear the man out. And then let her patiently, put her own case forward too. Because if a woman is not patient and she's like, I'm done, I've told you my own, that is going to cause more problems.
Yeah, I get it, but I think this woman, what she's saying is that, when they have that situation, the husband goes on and on trying to explain to make the situation better. But, she just feels it's something that they can sort in like 2 sentences and then they move on. So she says she gets tired listening to him going over and over the same thing again. So you say she needs patience.
But there's no other way. You need to be patient. Because if you get up and go,
she won't even go. She'll just switch off while he's still talking.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, you're not even communicating. You don't understand what he's saying. You don't understand where he's coming from. You see, let me tell you one thing that causes a whole lot of challenges, in communication like this. See, I have noticed that when 2 people are arguing over a matter, they are listening to themselves. They are not listening to the other person. They are listening to themselves. It is your own point of view that you are putting across. You are not even listening to the other person. Now, that one is listening to himself. The woman is listening to herself. You are not listening to each other. If you can just try to listen to each other, okay, so what are you saying? Let me understand you. And then he puts his own argument forward. And then let him also understand the other person. You will find out that they can easily find a meeting point and find a way to concede and move on. Sometimes we are saying the same things from different angles, and yet we are arguing for 2 hours. But if we are saying the same thing, you are saying the letter as W, I'm saying it as M. It's the same letter. But we are losing it from different angles, and you continue to argue over it, and both of you are right. Both of you are actually correct. You are not patient enough to listen to each other. You are saying it's W, it's W, it's W, it's W. I'm saying like this, W, and I'm saying it's M, it's M, it's M. M and W, they look differently from different angles. But if you're on the same page, you sit at the same M. or go to the other side and sit at the same W, right? So we need to be patient with each other when we are communicating, really.
That's interesting. So my next question is, this lady says, so if I'm living in an active relationship with God, but my spouse believes in God, but is not actively working in a relationship with him, how do I handle this situation?
It's very simple, right? Very simple. So go ahead with your active relationship and leave him with his own passive relationship.
Really?
Oh yes. I mean, you are two different people. I think we can't force him now. You don't force people to be spiritual. No, you go ahead. And if you want him to join you, pray. Pray when you are active, and so you have a stronger relationship with God. Also tell God the way you talk to God, and to touch your husband, to let him improve his active relationship. After all, it's not really the activity that determines the productivity. Is by His grace and His mercy. There are some people that are not active at all, and the way God is blessing them, you wonder that, what about me that I'm always fasting, 10 days, 20 days fasting, and then stuff is not really happening the way I want it. It's all by grace. So if your husband is not active, leave him, and then you continue to be active and pray for him. You can't even force him. That will even cause more problems.
So that means you should carry your own cross.
It's not a cross. It is not a cross. Everybody will always be at different levels of spirituality. We can't all be on the same level at any point.
So do you mean that,
why do you think it's a cross?
Like a pastor now, him and his wife cannot be on the same spiritual level?
Are they always on the same spiritual level? I mean, most of these pastors are, well, so to say, they are higher than their wives. The wives are probably the mommy G, or I don't mean,
I get what you're saying.
Pastor's wife.
Yeah.
Pastor's wife. Of course, so naturally will be the one in charge of family, marriage, and everything, and the husband will be the one that's praying and doing the deliverance. I mean, the Bible did not tell us the spiritual level that two people should be on, that they must be on the same spiritual level. What we know about Scripture that one will chase 1,000, and two will put 10,000 to flight, right? So you have to come together. If you come together spiritually, right, it doesn't mean it's 50-50. If you come 70-30, it's still 100. It's still 100. So the wife comes with 70, the husband comes with 30, it's still 100. It doesn't have to be 50 here, 50 here. No, it doesn't work that way. But I don't say, I mean, and then again, what do you mean active relationship? Some people, they can pray for 2-3 hours. And they can speak in tongues, that's cool, that's fine, that's okay. Some, they can't do that for 3 hours, but they can worship for 3 hours.
And the prayers will still be answered.
Seriously. It's not of him that willeth, of him that runneth. It's of him that showeth mercy. It's not by strength. The Bible says, by strength shall no man prevail. It's not your fasting that will bring the result. It's by His grace and by His mercy. And so don't be judgmental. Don't think your husband this man does not know God. Look, God may even answer him more than He's answering you.
It's interesting you said that, because my next question is kind of, you've kind of answered it. It says, what do you do if your spouse needs counseling but refuses to see that they need it?
Okay, so that's a big problem. That's a big problem because, and now, okay, so here's the question. How do you know that your husband needs counseling? Is it from your own opinion? Or don't you think probably in some cases, I've seen some cases that the wife feels the husband needs counseling, but in actual fact it's the wife that needs counseling, because she's the one that is doing she's the one that behaves in a way that makes her husband to behave in a certain pattern that she feels he needs counseling. What she needs to do is to change her ways, and then she will find out that things will just naturally work between both of them. That's one way. But now let's look at this part. Let's assume that in this case the man actually needs counseling. The best you can do is to try to convince him to see a counselor.
What if they're not in talking terms?
There's nothing you can do. If you're not talking to someone, how do you communicate with the person? There's nothing you can do. The only other way that you can work this out is if you know someone that he respects and honors, that you can actually talk to your husband.
Mm.
And that's why I always say this. Like I said earlier on, you see, I'm trying to change a whole lot of the narrative.
Yeah.
I tell young people now that want to get married, both of you should have someone, 1 or 2 people that are your counselors that you can easily call and tell if you have a challenge. There shouldn't be just pre-wedding counseling, there should be post-wedding counseling too. You must have. There are some relationships, marriages now that I'm dealing with that I can't reach the guy because I don't know him. I met the wife and we'll be talking about stuff, but I need to talk to the guy, but I can't reach the guy because if I call the guy, it's going to be more problem for the home. Yeah, and it's like, oh, so you started reporting it to some random counselors that I don't know. You're exposing our home to stuff, and I know that this kind of men, they need counseling. They need people to talk to them because there are some times that you find out people do things based on the limitation of their knowledge. They don't know it's wrong, but they just don't know better. They need somebody to tell them that, see, it's not like this, like that. And they say, oh, really, I didn't know. And then they will change. I have a number that I'm dealing with right now. I'm able to talk to them. Like, this is not how it's done. This is how it should be. And they've changed.
But do you think we have this problem a lot in Africa? African man, ego and everything?
No. I don't think so. I think it's just human behavior. It's human behavior. I have opportunity to counsel couples that are not Nigerians. I have people in the US, I have people even here in the UK that I counsel. It's a human issue. God did not put ego inside an African man, and then he did not put in a European.
I get it, but sometimes it seems that the ego in an African man is small, in a black man. Let me say black man.
Well, for me, I think culture, if you're talking about culture.
I think it has to do with culture.
Yes, if you're talking about culture, there are some egocentric manners that some men put up when it comes to culture. But when it comes to relationship, right, I think men are generally the same, right? Because you will find a European, for instance, who actually has a lot of ego and is dealing with his wife based on those egocentric behavior. And you also will find some African men who are not, who don't have these egocentric behaviors, right? So I think it's about, in each individual, I think it's about people more than saying, oh, African men have more ego than American men or than Europeans. I don't think so.
Thank you very much. So my next question is, this person said, what do you do if your spouse can only deal with you when you're happy and won't communicate with you when you're upset or angry?
Okay. So let's look at it this way. The spouse is a male spouse or a female spouse?
It's a male spouse.
The male spouse.
Yeah, can only deal with his wife when she's happy. But when she's unhappy, angry, and wants to talk about it, he just shuts down. It's like, I'm not interested.
So that's difficult. That's a temperament issue. It's a temperament issue, and such people actually need counseling. That's the truth.
That's interesting.
They need
it's
counseling.
interesting you said that, because the question I asked you before about counseling is the same lady that asked that question. So
okay, such people need counseling, and the way the lady can actually work this out, she can actually do it by herself. When they have good moments and everything is fine and hunky-dory, let her talk to him. Let her have that conversation. That, babe, when I'm angry or we have issues, you just shy away. I don't like it. It's not nice, not cool. Such women, right? The truth is, I don't know her, but if I may suspect, there are women who are very, I don't want to use the word, I should use the word cantankerous. Not really cantankerous like that. There are women who could be volatile, right? Who could be impatient. and who could be very, very outspoken, who could be very, very emotional, even when they're happy, they're emotional. They have outbursts, right? Such people, when their husbands have tendency to just withdraw when they're angry. Because when they're angry, there will be outbursts, there will be anger, a lot of anger issues, and then he can't deal with it, he just withdraws.
Okay, what if it's the other way around? What if this woman is quiet, calm, and puts her word across to him nicely? What situation is that? So I wanted to finish it. Like I said, I'm not suspecting. I'm totally wrong. So I'm saying, because I've had such issues. Let's look at those that have this kind of description I just given. Some people, they cannot stand malice. They just can't. If the husband is not talking to them, he's tearing them apart. And those guys, they just go and stay on their lane, and somehow they will find a way to resolve. In fact, such women will have to eventually come back to the guy. So, let's resolve. Let's resolve another. So that's what happened. That's one scenario. Now the one you're talking about, this scenario, she's calm, she's quiet, and but those people that are calm and quiet, when they get angry, they don't bring down the roof. They just go mute, get emotional. I think such women. But sometimes they'll just talk about it as well and be like, babe, this happened, and I'm not happy about it because of the way you handle it and all the blah blah. And the man just like, no, I don't want to hear it. Okay.
Well, so in that situation, I think the woman has to be deliberate in the sense that, like I was saying earlier on, when they have their happy moment, they should have that conversation. Please, when I'm angry and I'm expressing my anger or I'm expressing what I don't like, please don't just walk out on me. Let's talk about it. I don't like it. Those are ways that she can also start using some emotional intelligence on the girl, psychological intelligence on the guy. Yeah, when they have happy, that's the best time to actually discuss your challenges in marriage. When both of you are happy, you just came back from dinner, it's Valentine's Day, everything is cool, then you can bring all those and let's talk about this matter. Yeah, you communicate better that way. You don't communicate well when both of you are angry.
That's interesting. Thank you. Now, the topic we just discussed now brings me to this other question as well. This person says, what do I do when I'm unable to have a conversation with my spouse because he or she wouldn't listen to what I'm saying? And if you're telling them about something they have done, they won't accept their responsibility, their action. What do you do?
That's tough. So let's look at it. Let's take it one after the other. One, when she wants to talk to her spouse, the spouse doesn't listen. So the question I will ask is, how does the communication go across? Some of these questions, right? We need to be more practical to be able to understand and prefer the appropriate solution, right? Some people, for me, let me use myself as an example again. If you come to me and shout or you come in a very disrespectful manner, I'm not going to listen to you. So, is that her situation? Now, it's like, okay, say, let me take it for instance. You're my wife and you come to me and say, I didn't take it now. You're supposed to give me yes, you didn't give me. What is this one now? Give me the 10K now. I won't listen to you. Or you come to me that, you came from work since morning. And look at the kitchen. I think you should be able to do the dishes now. Am I the only one that should be doing dishes in this house? Am I a slave? I won't listen to you. You come to me and say, babe, that 10K now, do you still can I have it now? Or if you don't have it now, can I have it tomorrow? I will listen to you. If you come and tell me, babe, you're watching us now. Please, when you finish watching us now, please, can I even wash the dishes? Because I need to go upstairs too. I will wash it. I will even do beyond it. In fact, tomorrow, I won't wait for you to tell me to do the dishes. I'll just go and do it. Communication. How do you communicate? So it's not like, I'm talking to my husband and he's not listening to me. How is the communication like? So we need to understand that to be able to give, appropriate suggestion or solution to that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
So that's how it is.
Thank you very much. I mean, your answer to this is what's going to feed into my last question for this particular segment. You mentioned about helping your wife to wash the dishes and all that. I mean, call me out if I'm wrong. I think it's not very African, but these days you see a lot of things like this happening. Men helping their wife to do house chores and all that. And I know, this is not common in African countries, even up till now, but I think people know better now and are doing better. You as an African man, what do you feel about men doing their house chores with
They should do it.
Thank you. Now my question is, do you think they're helping their wife, or it's a duty they should be doing anyway?
They're not helping their wife. I don't know if you've seen my last video. This is exactly what I did in my last video. You're not, if you, like I said in the video, if I take the kids and I have their bath, if assuming they're still very young, have their bath for them in the morning, I'm not doing my wife any favor, because we both own those children. I'm not doing her a favor. If I go to the kitchen to cook dinner for everybody, I'm not doing my wife a favor, because I'm going to eat. She's going to eat. Whoever comes home first should do dinner. Yeah, some men don't know how to cook, unfortunately. So, the wife has no choice, she has to cook. But the man should try. If you cannot cook, at least you can mop the floor. Mop the floor while she's cooking. And if you cannot cook, the floor is mopped, stay with her in the kitchen. Sometimes, staying with your wife in the kitchen while she's cooking helps a lot. Even encourages her. Again, so if you can't stay with her in the kitchen, and she does all the cooking and she sweats and everything, she brings food to the table, say thank you. Thank you, babe, thank you so much, I appreciate you. She will cook again tomorrow. Women, they are not really high maintenance to make happy. Little things make you guys happy. Little things.
You're right.
Not like the big things.
I agree with you on that. That's true. Yeah.
Sometimes I come to the kitchen and tell her, thank you so much. If I admire in the kitchen, you're looking so pretty. This someone that is all sweating and everything. You're looking so beautiful, though, man. In fact, she'll be so happy. Yeah. There are little things. So we need to. I don't think. That's why I said earlier on that the people that I'm talking to more are the younger generation. We need to change the narrative.
What about the older generation? You think they can't change? You think
No. Well, I think they can if they want to, but it's more difficult to deal with them because they already have that mindset. Even before they got married, they have that mindset. And they believe that the woman should do the chores, the woman should do everything. No, it is wrong. Not all of them. There are some men that even cook better than their wives, and they don't mind to do the cooking. Really, I know some people like that. But generally speaking, there is that mindset that the man goes to bring in the money, and the woman goes to do the house chores, cooking, and all of that. No, it used to be so. I think this will be a conversation for another time. You see, if you want to date back, right? This is very interesting. I've not done this video, but I'm going to do it. I'm saying it here for the first time.
Yeah, that's great. Watch out for that.
So, from the beginning, way back, even from the Bible days, the men were the workers. Like they were the ones who worked, who had farms, who had cattle. Abraham had cattle. It was not recorded that Sarah had any job. Sarah was not working. She was probably at home taking care of the kids and then cooking, and then the other will come back after doing all the farming and the stuff, and then the wife is already cooking for him and doing the children stuff. On and on, right? The men were the ones working. That was even Adam and Eve. Adam was the one that got to tend the garden. It was one that would tend the garden. God made a companion for Adam in Eve. God didn't say, Adam, if you work, right? Just be a companion and be a help. So how do you help the man? You stay at home, do stuff in the house. Adam, go and work and do garden, right? So it's been like that was the template. But guess what? Years upon years after, these men, even up to our forefathers, after Bible days and everything, even our African men and all of that, even in Europe and America, there was a time in America that women were not allowed to vote. And so it was a man's world, so to say. Yeah.
So it's now evolving into a
good.
better...
There's an evolution now whereby, and this evolution started, it was the men that caused the women to wake up. Because at some point, they had the financial power, the men, but they were the ones working, making the money, doing trade and all of that. The women were at home, and the woman will ask the man, okay, I need 10 naira or 10 pounds, we're in the UK here, and then he begins to, you know, give some emotional, like, I don't have money, and this also, women were deprived. 1, 2, women found that they too could actually work and make money. So why can't we work?
Yeah.
We can work and make money. We can even make money even more than the guy.
Yeah. Which is happening now.
Yeah, they are smart. They can do a whole lot. And so they started, you know, like maybe revolting in quotes. Okay, I'm going to work. And then they started working. Because the men were actually oppressing them. They were oppressing them with money that they had. And why were they oppressing them? Because they knew that the woman didn't have money to do anything. So they could mess up. There was nowhere for the woman to go to. They would marry the second wife. There was nowhere because the woman was not financially stable to be able to go and get a place of her own. She can't leave. She will stay. Some women now are in abusive marriages today, but they cannot leave because they don't even have money to rent an apartment.
Yeah. Because
the man has so oppressed them, has deprived them of money, deprived them of work. That's why they decided that no, we are going to start working. And then they started working. And so now today, because the women too go to work, the template of man bring the money, woman take care of the home has changed. Because the woman also works. So both of us will come back home and both of us we must work.
Yeah.
As we are cooking in the kitchen, I'm mopping the floor, I'm taking care of the kids. And if you want to take care of the kids and the woman, take care of the kids, let me quickly put rice on fire. You have to work it together now. And it's no, that's how it is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
What word of wisdom should I give? See, people say marriage is tough. Marriage is tough because two people are not willing to cooperate and work together to make marriage work. It's not about the marriage itself that is the problem. It is about the two people involved in that marriage that are not able to find ways to make their marriage work. It's just like two siblings can live together in the same house and they will fight a whole lot if they're not able to understand each other's temperament, each other's mentality, mindset to make it work. So it's not the marriage that is the problem, it's the people that are inside that marriage. So if you can find a way to understand each other's needs, understand each other's temperament, and find a way to resolve issues between each other in a way that will bring a lasting peace and a lasting peace and happiness into that marriage. Marriage is not that difficult after all.
So much for sharing your wisdom with us. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed it and you've learned one or two things from our discussion today. Remember, I said at the beginning that there's going to be 2 episodes. This particular one is communication in marriage, and the next one is going to be about sex. Yes, we're going to be talking about sex. So next episode is bye for now. Bye guys. See you next time.